Hello everyone, this is Felix Konomakis, admin of the forum Selective Eating. I'm also taping this on my computer. I might put it up on a YouTube channel for people who are interested in therapy. So sorry, I got two cameras facing me. And I'm going to do this in bits because different bits of information can put different links to it. So I've got a couple of common questions that people ask me I want to go over today. So the first one is, it's regards to my video that I've got of the video is basically me talking to a cameraman as if I'd be talking to a client. I'm kind of saying the same things. It's more generalized, of course, but the therapy is very similar. The question is, how can a video of me talking basically stop someone from gagging on something like textures? So this comes from the idea that my body is doing something, it's doing its own thing, and I've got no power saying that. It doesn't understand there's a mind-body connection. Yeah? Your mind, and specifically your fears, will influence your body. You know, we change our body all the time. You can change your heart rate by make your blood pressure go up by thinking of something scary or something erotically arousing, for that matter. You can do a bunch of things. You can play around with your temperature, and people can do that as well. You can have injections with local anesthetic by imagining in your mind. There's so much your mind can do. So here's the thing with this. It's really about perception. Our perception of everything will control pretty much everything. Yeah. And if you think about perception of food, if the perception of food is dangerous, if my mind believes food is dangerous, then it makes perfect sense to gag on something. Yeah. I've used this example before. If my wife makes me something lovely, and I think, oh, this is delicious, this is really nice, and then she says, oh honey, I think I've got the salt and the rat poison mixed up, I'm going to gag, because my brain thinks, I think I've just been poisoned. So it makes perfect sense to gag. And then my wife comes in again, goes, sorry, my bad, they're both salt, back to eating it. I've gone from loving it to gagging to loving it based purely on what my brain thinks is a perception of danger. Yeah. On the parents forum, at least 3 people have told me, I gave my 10-year-old spaghetti bolognese. They're really loving it for 10 minutes. I couldn't help myself. I said, do you know what? I put some onions in there today. And then the child starts throwing up. How can you love something for 10 minutes, then start throwing up, unless the brain believes, oh, that's poison, that's danger. Yeah. Once the brain stops believing something's dangerous, it stops gagging. Yeah? Now this is the same thing with allergies. I've done allergy work. I want to get into that more. You can switch off an allergy because the brain says, oh, pollen, dog hairs, cat hairs, they're not dangerous. They're just irritating, but they're not actually dangerous. So that's really the plan. You can educate your mind to understand this, and it will change your response. Yeah, it's communication. Again, I'll use this example. Many years ago now, I was thrown in the deep end of selective eating. I was approached by a program, Freak Eaters, which I really don't like the title, but they approached me and they explained it to me. To be honest, I never even heard of it before that time. And as they explained it to me, I thought to myself, well, it kind of sounds like a phobia. If it sounds like one, acts like one, it probably treats like one. So I did my thing, and I had some good successes on that program. But it was early days. I was still learning about things. And then when the program went out, people called me from all over the country. I remember a lady from Scotland saying, even if I smell eggs, I will gag really strongly. Something I've heard a lot since then with fish and other things. So here's me thinking, I don't think I can help. This sounds like a sensory processing issue, a hardwired issue perhaps. But let's see if we can make it a little bit better. So she came and saw me. I did my format. And I'm expecting things maybe 10% better with anticipatory anxiety. And then at the end of the session, I said to her, do you bring any food with you? And she says, she gets out an egg, looks at it, takes a bite out of it. And here I'm thinking, oh, okay. And she's eating it and nothing happens. And I go, well, what's that like? She says, oh, it's different. So it got me thinking. It's not 90% sensory processing and 10% fear. It's at least the other way around. It's 90% fear, 10% sensory processing. Yeah? If you get rid of the fear, the 10% or less is kind of easy to deal with. Yeah? It's the fear that's the problem with all these things. Yeah? So it's perception. Since then, recently, a client saw me 1-year-old man with his mother. Mother mentioned that she had a real problem with fish. Same thing, can't even go down the counter. I said, well, I'm working with your son. Imagine this for yourself with fish. And then she writes a testimonial. It's on the other forum saying I can now eat fish. So we've gone from this real aversion, strong physical reaction to being able to eat something because the brain understands things differently. Okay, that's how it all works. So I'm hoping that this answers the question, how does this work for me? Well, basically, I educate, re-clarify, and guide your brain to understanding things differently. When it does that, the behavior changes as well. Not just for selective eating. It's famous. I'm famous for that, shall we say, but we do it for a bunch of other things as well. So, will be a good link to use in the future.